In continuation to the Unit 4 of the course Marketing of Financial Services, today my video would be highlighting on two aspects which are related to financial services. The first we'll try to understand leasing, and the second point we'll try to understand is hire purchase. Let us try to look into with dive that what are the points which we are interested to understand. In case of first concept, we will try to understand what is the definition of leasing or lease, types of lease, advantage to lessee and advantages to lessor. These are 4 points which we are going to cover through the first topic of leasing. Definition is the first part with which we are going to start. A lease is defined as a contract between a lessor and a lessee for the hire of a specific asset for a specific period on payment of specified rental. That is, a lease is a contract offering right on one person, which is called as a tenant or lessee, to possess property belonging to another person called a landlord or lessor, to the exclusion of the owner landlord, which means that a lease is an implied or written agreement specifying the conditions under which a lessor accepts to let out a property to be used by lessee. The agreement promises the lessee use of property for an agreed length of time, while the owner is assured consistent payment over the agreed period. Both parties are bound by the terms of contract, and there is a consequence if neither meets the contractual obligations, from which we can easily conclude the four aspects: that leasing is an implied or written agreement, it is an agreement which promises to both, it is an assured consistent payment which the lessee is going to get, which the lessor is going to get, and most important, the assured consistent payment is the main criteria of defining the leasing. Generally, the maximum period of lease according to the law is for 99 years. Now we move to, from this definition, we have come across few definitions which are a matter of concern for our understanding. Let us try to look into. The first word which is used in the definition is lessor. The party who is the owner of the equipment or asset permitting the use of the same by other party on payment of a periodical amount is called as lessor. Second word or concept is a definition we need to understand is lessee. The party who acquires the right to use equipment for which he pays periodically. Tenancy, it is a relationship between the tenant and the landlord called as tenancy, and the right to possession by the tenant is sometimes also called as leasehold interest. In the concept of lease, we generally hear a term, or we quite often hear a term which is called as a rent. The consideration for the lease is called as rent. Now we move to the third part and we try to understand what are the different types of lease available. If you look at, there are different types of lease, namely as finance lease, operating lease, sales and lease back, direct lease, single investor lease, leveraged lease, domestic lease, international lease. These are various types of lease, and we'll try to understand this lease one by one. If you look at the first type of lease, which is called as finance lease is mainly an agreement for just financing the equipment or asset through a lease agreement, which means here the owner lessor transfers to lessee substantially all the risks and rewards incidental to the ownership of asset except the title of the asset. In such leases, the lessor is only a financier and usually not interested in the asset. So, these leases are also called as full payout lease, as they enable lessor to recover his investment in the lease, derive a profit. Finance liens are mainly done for such equipment or assets where it is full useful. Economic life is normally utilized by one user. The finance lease is widely used in case of ships, aircrafts, and wagons. Generally, a finance lease agreement comes up with an option to transfer of ownership to lessee at the end of lease period. Normally, lease period is the major part of economic lift of the asset. We move forward to the next type of lease, which is called as operating lease. Operating lease is one of the lease which the lessor does not transfer all risk and rewards incidental to the ownership of the asset, and the cost of asset is not fully amortized during the primary lease period. It basically highlights that normally the operating lease is for assets which can be used by different users without major modification to it. In operating lease, the lessor provides all the services associated with the assets, and rental includes the charges for these services. The lessor in operating lease is interested in ownership of asset or equipment, as it can be lent to various users during its economic life. The best examples would be earth moving equipments, mobile cranes, automobiles. That is what we can understand as a operating lease, with the word operating to be kept in the mind. Next type of lease we try to understand is called as sale and lease back. In this type of lease, the owner of the equipment or asset sells it to a leasing company, that is lessor, which leases it back to the owner. That is what it is called as sale and lease back. Goes from one end, it is sold to another, and the other party gives the equipment or an asset on lease to the first party whom he has purchased. Is nothing but a sale and lease back. Moving forward, let us try to have insights about what is called as direct lease. In direct lease, the lease and the owner of the equipment are two different entities. A direct lease can be of two types: bipartite or tripartite lease. What is bipartite? As the name says, bi, it is two parties in the lease transaction, namely equipment supplier cum financier, which is called as lessor, and lessee. The lessee maintains the asset if necessary, replace it with the similar equipment in working condition. Tripartite lease, as the name, there are three people involved. One is equipment supplier, second one is lessor, who is a financier, and third is lessee. In such lease, sometimes the supplier ties up with the financiers to provide financing to lease, as he himself is not in a position to do so. Moving forward, let us try to understand what does it mean as a single investor lease. Single investor lease is also a bipartite lease in which the lessor is solely responsible for financing part. The funds are arranged by a financier, have no recourse to the lessee. Similarly, we move to the next type of lease, which is called as leveraged lease. This is also a different kind of tripartite lease in which the lessor arranges funds from another party, linking the lease rental with the arrangement of funds. To be more precise, in such lease, equipment is part financed by third party, normally through debt, and a part of lease rental is directly transferred to such lenders towards the payment of interest and installment of principal. Also, we try to understand in simple what is called as domestic lease. Domestic lease is a lease transaction classified as domestic, as the name suggests, if all the parties in the agreement are domiciled in the same country, termed as domicile lease. Similarly, exactly opposite to a domicile lease is called as international lease. International lease is the lease if the parties to the lease arrangement domiciled in the different countries is known as international lease. This lease can be further classified as import lease and cross border lease. In case of import lease, the lessor and lessee are domiciled in the same country, but the equipment supplier is located in the different country. The lessor imports the assets and leases it to the lessee. Similarly, in case of cross-border lease, when the lessor and the lessee are domiciled in different countries, it is known as cross-border lease. The domicile of the asset supplier here stands immaterial. With the different types of lease, let us try to understand what are the advantages of leasing to lessee and lessor. The first advantage gained by a lessee is additional source of fund. Leasing facilitates the acquisition of equipments or assets without necessary capital outlay, thus has a competitive advantage of mobilizing the scarce financial resources of the business enterprises. It also enhances the working capital position and makes available the internal accruals for business operations. Second advantage is less costly. Leasing as a method of financing is less costly method than other alternatives available. Ownership is preserved as an advantage to lessee. Leasing provides finance without diluting the ownership or control of the promoter, as against other mode of long-term finance like equity or debentures normally dilute the ownership of promoters. Fourth benefit to the lessee is it avoids conditionality. Lease finance is considered preferable to institutional finance, as in the former case there is no string attached. Lease financing is beneficial since it is free from restrictive covenants and conditionality, such as their representation on board. Flexibility in structuring rent is also an advantage to a lessee if he goes for leasing. The lease rentals can be structured to accommodate the cash flow situation of a lessee, making payments of rental convenient to him. The lease rentals are so tailor-made that lessee is able to pay the rental from the funds generated from operations. Apart from this, Simplicity is one of the benefit which is given to the lessee. That is, a lease financial arrangement is simple to negotiate and free from cumbersome processes with faster and simple documentation. Over and above, this financing also offers tax benefit. By suitable structuring of lease rentals, a lot of tax advantage can be derived. If the lessee is in tax-paying position, the rental may be increased to lower his taxable income. The cost of asset is thus amortized faster to than in case where it is owned by lessee, since depreciation is allowed at prescribed rate. Obsolescence risk is averted. In a lease arrangement, the lessor, being the owners, bears the risk of obsolescence, and lessor is always free to replace the asset with the latest technology. That is what gains an advantage to the lessee. Similarly, lessor also has an advantage when it opts for financing, as the advantages it talks about is: first is full security. As we are aware, the lessor's interest is fully secured since he is always the owner of the leased asset and can make repossession of the asset in case of default by the lessee. The greatest advantage of the lessor is the tax relief by the way of differentiation. That gives him a tax benefit also. High profitability advantage to the lessor talks about that the leasing business is highly profitable since the rate of return is more than what lessor pays on his borrowing. Also, the rate of return is more than in case of lending finance directly. Another advantage talks about in the benefit of lessor is trading on equity. The lessor usually carries out their finance with high financial leverage, depending more on debt fund rather than equity. And most basic and last advantage offered to lessor is the high growth potential. Leasing industry has a high growth potential. Leasing finance enables the lessee to acquire equipment and machinery even during the period of recession, since they do not have to invest in capital. That is how the lessor would be benefited if it opts for financing. We move to the second concept, which we will discuss, trying to discuss with the topic of leasing and hire purchase. Let me have some thought about hire purchase first. Hire purchase is a mode of financing the goods to be sold on future date. In hire purchase transactions, the goods are let on hire. The purchase price is to be paid in installments, and the hirer is allowed an option to purchase the goods by paying all the installment. Hire purchase is nothing but a method of selling goods. In hire purchase transaction, the goods are let out on hire by a finance company, generally called as creditor, to a hire purchaser who is a customer, which is called as hirer. The buyer is required to pay the agreed amount in the periodical installments during a given period. Moreover, the ownership of the property remains with creditor and passes on to a hirer on the payment of last installation. This is what is a general background about a hire purchase. In this session, this topic, we will try to cover what is the concept of hire purchase and what are the features of hire purchase. As given on the slide, for understanding hire purchase, a hire purchase agreement is defined in the Hire Purchase Act 1972 as a peculiar condition of transactions in which goods are let on hire with an option to hirer to purchase them with the following stipulations. Payments to be made in installation over specified period. Point number 2, the possession is delivered to the hirer at the time of entering into the contract. Third, the property in goods passes to the hirer on payment of last installment. Fourth, each installment is treated as a hire charge so that if default is made in payment of any installment, the seller becomes entitled to take away the goods. And point number 5, the hire purchase is free to return the goods without being required to pay any further installments falling due after the time. With this, let us try to look into the last part of hire purchase, which are related from the concept itself. We can easily conclude what are the features of hire purchase agreement. Under hire purchase system, the buyer takes possession of goods immediately and agrees to pay the total hire purchase price in installment. Second, each installment is treated as hire charges. Third, the ownership of good passes from the seller to buyer on the payment of last installment. Fourth, in case the buyer makes any default in the payment of any installment, the seller has the right to repossess the goods from the buyer and forfeit the amount already received, treating it as a hire charge. Fifth, the hirer has the right to terminate the agreement any time before the property passes. That is, he has the option to return the goods, in which case he need not pay installment falling due thereafter. However, he cannot recover the sums already paid, as such sums legally represent higher charges on the good question. With this, let us have a look on the review questions from the concepts we have tried to understand. This is more precisely applicable to marketing students. We should be in a position to analyze and define the terms which are widely used in case of leasing: lease, lessor, leasee, tenancy, rent. Second question which can be easily reviewed, we have analyzed, is what are the different types of leasing available, and we have tried to explain how they differentiate from each other. Third, illustrate the advantages of leasing to lessee and lessor. And last, we also tried to understand the concept and features of hire purchase. With this, I conclude my video on the two concepts that are leasing and hire purchase. Thank you.